Hey there folks, it's Bob. Sorry about the weird camera angle. So I'm out in the woods today prepping for the summer and fall season. It's springtime right now in Pennsylvania. And what I'm doing is I'm going around to my different trails and places where I typically stop to hunt or camp, things like that. And I'm planting. But I'm not planting like trees or anything like that. I'm planting simple things. You know, it's not too late to start. Or you could even go to like Lowe's or somewhere and get some vegetable plants. So if I planted some zucchini, low maintenance things, zucchini, green beans, which you could just pop right into the ground. Anything really that'll grow on its own with nature doing its thing. But you want to get enough to where if you're not going to be out there for a while, if something dies, you have something else in its place basically. So I got about 20 or 30 of these zucchini plants, and if you know anything about zucchini, they take over an area and they multiply constantly. And since I'm out here at least four or 5 days a week, it's great for me because I can just pick something off the plant and make my lunch and I'm good to go. Plus I can harvest some things to take back to my family and stuff. Blueberry plants, those take a little while to mature. Raspberry plants, same thing, take a little while to mature. But think ahead, we're future pacing here. So all I'm doing is finding these nice little locations. I put them in these little peat moss pots basically. I started the seeds myself. And I'm just gonna put them in the ground and cover them over with dirt, leave a little dish there like a pan kind of down in the ground a bit. So it can collect water. And I dug up this little area here and it's really loose soil, right? So I'm just going to keep that right down in there. You might think, well, won't some animals eat the plants? Yeah, they might. But there's a good chance you'll still have a good bit left over. I plant zucchini right in the ground by my house and I've never really had any animals messing with them too much. But like I said, I'm going to be out here more often than not. But here's a few things to bring with you when you're doing this type of thing. Now the loadout at first might be heavy, but we go tool heavy, right? So I bring what's called a balling spade. It's just a flat spade. A green folding saw, green wood folding saw, because most of the wood I'm going to cut out of my way is going to be live green growth. Some kind of planting trowel. This one here is a Corona planting trowel. It's got a sawtooth edge for cutting root on it. It's got measurement markers on it for how deep your holes are, things like that. And I always carry a pair of hand pruners in my pocket. Even when I'm just scouting a trail, I carry these with me. The reason I do that is because it's real easy to snip it off. It's a lot easier than hitting it with my knife, an axe, or a saw. I can just keep these right in my back pocket and I'm good to go. So get yourself a good pair, a professional pair, and keep them oiled so they don't rust up on you, because these can be sharpened over and over and over again. But the other thing I'm planting today is I'm going through and planting some of these willow stalks up along my fence line. Well, it used to be a fence up there, I think, at some point. We got a lot of water in that area, and I'm looking to plant potatoes probably about 50 feet below that. And I want to take up some of that groundwater with willow. Not to mention, willow is a fantastic resource for making baskets, for making traps, all kinds of different things. So I'm thinking, notice I'm thinking ahead, right? When you're doing this stuff, don't just think I'm going to take a walk in the woods and have a cup of coffee and that kind of thing. Think about what you could take with you, just little bits at a time. It might be a bag of green bean seeds. And if you have your planting trowel and a shovel, you can break up the dirt. You plant a couple hundred of those, you're gonna have a lot of green beans, trust me. I never even water my beans. I just let nature do its thing. Same thing with like tomato plants. If they're in partial sun and they're off the game trails, they're gonna get some sunlight throughout the day, but during, say, the hotter parts of the day, they're going to get a little more shade. And you're expecting a rainy season, which we typically get here, tomato plants work great. Beef masters and beef steaks in particular, and big boys. Nothing like heirloom plants, more hybrid plants is what you're looking for. So you can plant those anywhere, because you have to consider you're just going to let these things grow, okay? And when you come out to your spot, whether it's on the weekends or whatever, do some general pruning, right? Tomato plants, you know, prune from the bottom of the stalk up, because if it gets too many leaves, it's not going to produce a lot of fruit. Too many stems. Get rid of the suckers. You can pull the suckers out and stick those in the ground, and they'll grow too, okay? And the suckers are the little parts that grow in between the Ys of the tomato plant branches, all right? They got these little hairs on them. You can just cut them off, stick them in good soil, and give them a little douse of water, and they'll start to grow on their own. All right, so get rid of the suckers off the tomato plants. With green beans, it's really about harvest light and harvest often. So when your green beans are growing, don't pick all of the beans off the plants all at once. Harvest very light and harvest continuously. All right, and that keeps the plants from getting stressed out. Things like viney plants and zucchini and things like that, it's all experiment, really. For me, at the end of the day, I have neighbors that walk my trails, and I have people that come over and camp out here. And tell you honestly, I don't mind if they pick stuff. I just ask that they don't take everything, right? Pick what you need for the day, enjoy yourself, and have a great healthy lunch. Not to mention fruit trees. You can get small fruit trees. They take a while to mature. Apple trees, things that are hardy, apple trees. Not cherries. You'll come out and the birds will have eaten all the cherries and everything. But apple trees are generally a good thing. Put some deer netting around it, like deer fencing around it at first while they're first growing, so the deer don't strip them. You can plant plants around those, in circles around those throughout your woods and stuff. And that's basically what I'm working on this week. Other than that, I'm going to be coming out with a video showing you guys a quick scout base camp. It's two simple bags, two small bags I carry with me, and it's a minimalist way of doing things, but you guys, I think you'll enjoy it. All right, see you next time. Take care.